I'm Garret Risley of Remax Realty Associates, and today I'm joined with Patrick Wampler, owner and manager of Jimmy John's here in Mahomet since it opened up in 2019. Patrick, thanks for joining me
Yeah,
today.
absolutely. Happy to do it.
So my first question for you is why Jimmy John's, and how did you get your step into Jimmy John's?
Yeah, so I grew up in Champaign, which is where Jimmy John's was headquartered at the time. Had some family and friends that worked in the corporate office, and had a cousin that went out and started a franchise in Maryland. Things were good for him. It seemed like a good fit for me. Get to be your own boss, get to work on your feet. When you got like ADD like I do, and we need to stay busy. So I was out of college, not sure what I wanted to do, and had a couple guys in town, older guys, businessmen, approach me and say, hey, we're interested in Jimmy John's. And through conversations, I had said that I was interested. They didn't want to do the legwork, the prepping of the veggies and things like that.
Sure.
So I agreed to kind of be the boots on the ground, and they would be the financial backing to start with, and we just kind of went and ran from there. So it's been a good fit for 11 years now.
Great. And when Patrick says the legwork, the prepping of the veggies, it's 6:30 in the morning right now, and I thought it was just going to be Patrick and I. There's already people here working to make this fresh.
My man Kyle back here. What time did you get here?
5 o'clock.
Been here since 5. All right. So when they say cut fresh daily, they're not lying to you.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then why Mahomet?
So our first store was in Tuscola, which is 20, 30 miles south of here. One of my business partners was from Tuscola, had a piece of property he thought would be a home run. And when we started Jimmy John's, the folks over on Fox Drive were like, "That's a small town. We're not sure."
Sure.
But we gave it a try. We thought, limited restaurants in Tuscola, highway traffic, etc. And Tuscola was a home run. We were at the time, first year, $1 million store, which is back in those days was very few and far between.
Sure.
So we thought that would translate well to here.
Yeah.
And here has gone above and beyond and exceeded even those expectations. Bigger population, 8 to 10,000 plus, outskirts and highway, and it's just been a very good fit. So as soon as we opened Tuscola, and within about the first 6 months, I instantly went eyes to Mahomet. We have a store in Rantoul. We have a store in Danville. So instantly to these kind of small towns surrounding Champaign. And Mahomet was number one on the list.
Yeah, well, and we appreciate you.
So it's been a great fit.
You opened up in 19.
Yeah.
When did the process actually begin to open up?
So I know we just said this is going to be about a 3 to 4 minute clip. It's a long story. When we first opened Tuscola, Mahomet was like instantly the second spot. Like Tuscola went really well. It was 6 months in. We finally had enough traction, managers, employees. I was getting good enough at it. We instantly wanted to come here to Mahomet.
Sure.
And we were told no by the corporate office.
Okay.
They own the stores in Champaign.
Yep.
And they were like, it's a little too close. We've got our stores over here on Prospect. It's 10 minutes away.
Sure.
We might open a store in Mahomet. So they originally said no.
Yeah.
But I just kind of kept knocking on the door. There was no store here. Finally, we reached an agreement where I would open a store in Rantoul, Taylorville, Illinois, which is about an hour away. And here, so it's basically a 3-store deal. And they said, if you open all 3 stores, we'll give you Mahomet.
Okay.
So then that process was probably in 16 or 17.
Yep.
And then we looked for a site for like 3 years. We looked, all over. We looked at joining that gas station down there.
Yep.
Didn't really like that fit. Didn't really like the way the drive-through would work. We looked at a couple spots over on 150. Obviously 150 is blowing up now, and it's got huge things going on. This was back when 150 wasn't quite that way.
Sure.
That first building with like where Whisk is, we looked there.
Okay.
I wanted to be closer to the highway, and we looked at actually where Yo-Yo's is.
Yeah.
That spot was just too big.
Yeah.
That building is huge and too big for a Jimmy John's. And finally, we reached an agreement with the owner here. This was just kind of trees, if you remember back 5-10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And they sold us this lot. And then from there, it was about a 2-year process to cut the trees down, level it off, come up with storm drain, and get this thing built. So it was a long process. I mean, been in the works since 2015, and we opened 4 years later.
Okay.
So a lot of ups and downs.
All right. Well, thanks for sticking to it. We
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
Thank you. So on many occasions, I've been driving through or have come in and I've seen you behind the lines working with your staff.
Yeah.
Now, I know that's not typical of most owners.
Yeah.
So is that a Jimmy John's franchise thing? Is that a manpower need, or is that just the full Patrick Wampler experience we're getting there?
I think it's a little bit of both, or a little bit of all three. I mean,
sure.
When COVID hit, so I've always been in the stores. Like I said, I was the general manager. I was doing the job that Kyle was doing, prepping the veggies, cutting the veggies when we opened that first store. I know how much it takes to do this every morning.
Yeah.
So I like to help these guys out when I can. Even whatever I can do, to make his morning a little bit better.
Sure.
Something I aim to do. I like to be on the line. I like to know the staff. I like to show, I'm not going to ask them to do a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to do.
Love that.
But it is also a manpower need. I mean, especially when COVID hit, staffing got really tight. I had to, just do whatever was necessary. Now over the last 4 years, that slowly changed. Staffing's gotten better. But I still, I don't want to sit at home and manage from an office or anything like that. So I still enjoy being here. It helps me get new ideas. It helps me with these guys. Maybe he's trying to decide who to promote or who to make his next manager. I'm at least here and around and can say, hey, I really like so-and-so, or hey, so-and-so seems to be doing a great job. And so it's a little bit of a balance. And then now with all the stores we have, and we have 2 construction projects right now, it slowly changes. I mean, I have to, unfortunately, do some work from the office, but still like to be in here on the daily whenever I can.
Okay, love it. So you went to Champaign, right? Went to high school at Central.
Yep.
But since you've been here in Mahomet, what have you learned about our community?
I love it. I love all these small towns. Mahomet is incredible. Tuscola is the same way. I mean, the small town community, the way they're connected, the way they kind of back each other, they support the teams, they support each other. I mean, it's awesome. It's a tight-knit group. We got a lot of regulars. Champaign's great, but it's a big community, and you get lost a little bit in the shuffle, and there's multiple high schools, and there's rivalries and things like that. Here, it's just great. I mean, and like I said, Tuscola is the same way. They, all the high school kids work for us. They know each other. They support each other. Yeah. It's just been a great community and a great fit for us.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So is there anything that you've done already that I'm not aware of, or anything in the works that you or this business is planning to do to support the local community?
So we're big into the schools. The schools are kind of our big one. We have, employees that work for us that go to the schools here. We've got a lot of teacher orders, a lot of teacher regulars. So we've done some donations. We feed the school. We feed the sports teams at a discount. Some, a lot of like golf outings we sponsor. And so we had the big one too is we have a food truck. So we'll take our Jimmy John's food truck to events, and sometimes we might not charge, or we might give a discount to do that. So the biggest one is with the schools. I've always been big into giving back to the schools. One, because, I know that that's what I enjoyed when I was a kid and when I was a student athlete, and being able to travel and have food and all that. But two, like I said, there's trickle down effect from that everywhere, whether it's the 100%. Parents appreciate it, little brother appreciates it, whatever. It's a way to get our product out there, and it's a win-win for basically everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, and my last question, and probably most important, is what's your go-to order on the Jimmy John's menu? So right now it's December. Rumor has it this is going to air a little bit later, so I'm not letting out a secret, but we're going to get hot sandwiches here in a couple months. Okay.
And the hot sandwiches are phenomenal. Okay. And so I used to be a turkey tom, kind of keep it simple, stuff like that. But the new chicken bacon ranch is incredible.
Love
hot. That. I modify it a little bit, take some of the ranch off, but all the hot sandwiches are just incredible, and I'm obsessed with them. I ate the regular ones for 10, 11 years, so now having this new hot option's been a lot of fun.
So this would be breaking news if I aired it out today.
This would
Since
be
this isn't coming out
exactly,
till June, okay,
exactly.
I won't do that to you.
Exactly.
I won't do that to you, Patrick. So, well, I appreciate your time. I know that people are going to start coming in at any time.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely.
And for those viewing, until next time on Mahomet's People to Know.